Hi, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jessica.
Welcome to Cluedunnit, the podcast where we make wild guesses about fake TV crimes.
Without any clues, context, or apparently accuracy. All right, let's find out.
Who was right?
Who was wrong?
And who is dead? What are the euphemisms we can use in this episode, Jessica? Tell me the correct, because I'm horrible at this. You know that I will just fly off willy-nilly and say the dang name.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of the same. I'm not innocent of this. I also am, like, definitely the person who would say he who should not be named. And everyone would be like, what are you bringing on our house? And I would be like, I guess I'm just a witch who's gonna have to leave.
That's just the way it is. Fine, invite me back in. It's like Jinx, buy me a Coke. Like you can't speak again until somebody's like. If you say Macbeth in a theater, you've got to like.
You just did it.
Where are we in a theater?
No.
There you go. Thank you very much. I also don't believe in the curse, so there's that. Which is why I'm asking, like, what? So
okay. If you say, yes, okay, you can say mackers.
Sure, mackers.
Which I did not learn until recently when I was in part of a theater company that had the show, and somebody that was working for me was like, well, if we're doing mackers, then blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what is she saying? Oh, it was just rubbing me the wrong way. And now I'm into it, and that's all I say. But you would say the Scottish play, which is just a lot of syllables for a show that is named. It's actually the tragedy of
Macbeth.
Macbeth. Yes. Which I
will now be silent on the podcast until you invite me to speak again.
You have to go outside, turn around 3 times, and you might have to spit, and then you have to knock and ask for entry. Request entry. Otherwise, you're out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Get out.
Yeah. So Mackers, the Scottish play, call her Lady M.
Right.
Or
McBee,
the King M, right?
King M. I don't know. The one with all the witches.
Lord M.
Lord M, yes.
What else did we find?
I think that was it. I think those were all the ones, but there's not a whole lot. It's fairly clean and clear. Mackers.
For a very succinct little play with a tiny little name that everybody just usually breaks down to.
Usually just says Macbeth. People just say Macbeth. It's a tiny little name. It's also, isn't it his shortest play?
Yeah, it's his shortest show. It's very tight.
It is a tight 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is what happens. But so, in case you haven't guessed, yes, we are doing the next episode of Shakespeare and Hathaway entitled
The Toil and Trouble,
which comes from the tragedy of Macbeth.
Yes.
So we are going to be saying lots of Macbeth things in this episode.
Oh my gosh, you're just going to keep saying it. It's
going to
rub me the
over
wrong
and
way.
over and over
it's
again.
It's going to make me shiver every single time. Just gonna twitch. Yeah, it's season 1, episode 5. Again, this is a comedy crime drama. I don't know why drama is so weird and silly. I mean, there will be, drama, I guess.
Somebody dies. I guess they just. I guess they just feel as if somebody's got to have some drama in there. And maybe this time around with Mackers, they're going to really bring the drama.
Maybe.
I want jump scares. I want jump scares all episode long. I just want them to be like looking around and like a cat just come like out of the corner and just like, oh my gosh, okay. Well,
shoot. Well, that is the thing about Macbeth, is that there are tons of animal references. The whole show is full. The Shakespeare's play is full of like cats and hooting owls and ravens and just all kinds of spiders, I think, are mentioned. Like, there's just so much animalia in the play.
There's fauna. There's fauna everywhere.
Is that fauna?
Fauna is the
animal. Okay, yeah, lots of that. So, could be. That would be fantastic.
They
don't have a lot of actors in this episode, so maybe they paid for animals.
I would love that. Yes, please. We're doing a barnyard Macbeth, and the cows over there are playing Lady M, and
I was surprised listening to another podcast as a rewatch of
Jessica, you cheated on us with another podcast?
I know. Okay, I'm just going to come right out and say it. I listened to The Office Ladies, and so they're doing a recap of The Office, and they, of course, Angela's character loves cats and has like 6 cats or something. I can't remember how many. And so they have to frequently have cats on the episode, and it's a lot of money. Yes. You have to have trainers for those cats. Yes. And they have other animals in the show too, and you always have to have a trainer and to, train the animal and then make sure when the animal or the insect or whatever is on set that they're treated properly, that they're not scared. Like, I think there's a hedgehog in one episode, super cute. But yeah, they had to be, make sure that everything was quiet and okay, nothing upset the hedgehog. And
so we're gonna make one guess right now. It's the very top of everything. What animal do you think we're gonna get on this show? Do you think we'll get an owl?
Oh wow. Oh, owl. Oh, I was just gonna go straight for cat.
Cat, great.
I mean, you mentioned it.
Sure.
What do you think it's going to be?
I'll go with owl. I'll stick with owl.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
And who do you think is going to be the witch in this episode?
That's a good question.
There's got to be a witch. There's got to be a witch in this episode.
Oh, yeah. What do we think Sebastian's going to be dressed up as? Do you think he'll dress up as a witch?
Ooh, that would be so much fun.
Because I do know
Tarot
for sure.
reader.
So, it's kind of interesting. One of the guest stars, and she's kind of a regular, is the character Gloria Fontaine, and it's played by Roberta Taylor. And
hello, Roberta.
Hello, Roberta. Gloria is a costumier or a costumer. She has a costume shop underneath Sebastian's apartment.
You say costumier, and all I can think about is Beauty and the Beast. Like, I just want her to be some hello, welcome to the castle, be our guest, costumier.
I don't know. That's how they described her on BBC.
I know.
I was like, all right, I'll take it. Costumier. All right. Okay. I've never heard that term in all of my words in a costume shop, but I liked it. So she has a costume shop. So they're definitely going in there for something. Are they all going to be dressed like, I don't know.
Yes, please. Yes, just all the silly outfits.
Yeah, I hope so. And there are so many different ways that people do. I feel like every director who ever does the Scottish play is always like, and we're going to have the witches in suits, or the witches are going to be all men, and the witches are going to be all young ladies. The witches are going to be all old ladies. And like, oh my gosh, this is your grand take of it.
This is your grand take. Let's mess with the witches.
Yeah. And it's so weird when they're like, they're all going to be men, and you go like, so you're going to have even fewer women?
Fewer roles for ladies in the Shakespeare
play? Which, I mean, no, weird.
You're going to make Lady M the only one. Great. Cool. Sure.
Yeah.
Because does Duncan, it's not, no.
Oh, there's a wife.
There is a wife and a mother. And there's also.
There is a nurse.
There is
in the out damn spot scene.
Yes. And there's also, I think, when he kills the king, he also has to kill the king and queen. I mean, when Lady M kills them. There's just the king. There's no queen at that point?
Yeah, he's not traveling with a queen.
Oh, okay.
Just the king.
Just the king.
Yeah. And
this has been Jessica and Jacob Try to Remember Shakespeare. This is gonna be a regular bit, people. That's just as we go through Shakespeare and Hathaway.
Yeah. The main other lady is the Macbeth lady who gets killed with her kid, and the murderers come in and they're like,
oh, egg.
Something egg. Yeah. When the kids, it's funny. Great New Yorker story if you ever want to look that up.
It's really funny when those guys come in and kill the kids. Man, that was a hoot. Which just tells you just about how dark this play is.
Yes.
So the costumier.
Yes.
Tell us about her.
So Gloria Fontaine, played by Roberta Taylor. Sorry. So Roberta Taylor, she has actually 6 episodes on Shakespeare and Hathaway. She has guest starring episodes on Father Brown, The Bill, Holby City, Luther, which we haven't heard of too many people on that show, so that's cool. She also has 348 episodes on The Bill.
Wow, that's a new one for me. I haven't heard of that soap opera from them. Like EastEnders, sure, but The Bill, I don't know about. Okay, great. So she's on The Bill.
Well, I mean, we've heard other people talk about The Bill, though.
Have we?
You're saying this show is new to you?
Yeah.
No, you've heard me mention The Bill 100 times.
Okay, I'm very sorry.
And on the Mystery Maniacs show, when they're revealing what they're going to do for their next season, they have
that's this one. Yes. They have the intro where they're talking about, oh my gosh, The Bill is going on.
She's having that nightmare that they're going to be doing all the episodes of The Bill. Yeah. So she has done 348 episodes.
That is a lot of TV, no matter how you shake it.
Yeah. But even better, this is like topper, 299 episodes of EastEnders. And she is named one of the top 100 greatest EastEnders characters of all time for her performance as Irene Raymond.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. She also has been on Silent Witness and Inspector Morse, and she has appeared as herself on Celebrity Antiques Road Trip. Is that the same as Antique Roadshow?
I imagine it is, just different marketing titles. Yes.
Yeah, I want to see that. I'm curious. I want to see Celebrity.
I want to
mean,
see her on like Father Brown now.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, wouldn't you want to see a celebrity like come up and be like, I have this family heirloom, or I found this in the antique.
Yes, fair enough.
In the attic of the farmhouse that my partner and I bought, and you're just wondering, like, is it a real witch's?
Is this a real witch's cauldron?
Yeah.
Or did someone just leave this there to freak us out?
It seems kind of plastic, but it might be resin, right?
Yeah, right.
It's worth 100,000 pounds. Oh my God, I'm going to quit acting. Just kidding. No, I love it.
No, I can't. I couldn't possibly. But I will be producing my own show now.
Yes.
Excellent. Who else do we need to know about?
Well, I mean, all the cast are in this. Mark Benton as former detective PI Frank Hathaway. We have Joe Joyner, which I just realized in the Shakespeare theme of things, her last name is Joyner. She plays Luella Shakespeare. She has photographic memory. She's a former hairdresser. She invests in Frank's PI business so that they can sustain. And she is a partner. She is one of the PIs. She has her license. But this actress's last name is Joyner. Isn't that one of the characters in Midsummer Night's Dream, Snug the Joiner?
I think that is correct, yes.
So I think that's kind of funny that that's actually her last name.
Well, is it, or is it just her, like, this is my acting pseudonym?
Oh, could be.
Could be.
I
Could
don't
be.
know.
If she ever comes on, Joe, if you ever come on, we'll ask you that.
Yeah. Then there's, of course, Patrick Walsh McBride, who is the assistant, Sebastian Brunel, who is, I didn't realize this, but his character is a RADA-trained actor.
Yes.
Who is trying to get into
actually
the
on
RSC.
Stage, yeah.
But I didn't realize that he was RADA trained. It's another famous theater school, but I just didn't, I don't know.
Fair enough. I want to see him in a shawl.
A shawl?
I want to see him in a shawl this episode, like a shawl and a turban and
like a witch's shawl.
Yes,
kind of thing?
exactly.
Or
like being all like witchy and hooky spooky. That's
some crystals.
Yes.
And some
oh my gosh, I want to see Sebastian
herbs.
with all the crystals and like saging the room out.
Yeah. Do they do that?
I don't know.
That's a Native American thing, I think.
I have
I'm
no
not
idea.
sure if it's but yeah, I mean, they must do something. All the witches are like, I mean, there's hedge witch, this is another thing, continuing from our last episode.
Yes, please.
There are just all these things from fantasy that I do not know. And I remember watching some show on Netflix during the pandemic and being like, what? There are different kinds of witches? What's happening? I don't understand. Like, my whole witch understanding comes from Harry Potter, like the end. And you had to explain
Harry
it to me.
Harry Potter and Halloween.
Yeah, you had to explain it to me. You're like, hedge witches are like one type of witch. They're like the lower form. And then there are these other kinds of witch. I don't even remember what you said, but...
I don't even remember what I said either. This is great. I'm pulling up the popcorn to let you
No, you were very... Well, I was very convinced by what you said.
I'm good at that.
That is true. You definitely... What's it called? You pontificated a little bit. Maybe, or I don't know. Or what's the term? You sort of modern jackass, which is which is something from another
different podcast. Yes. But yes, it definitely modern jackassed it. But this is, I mean, the history of witches, the depiction of witches, it's all over the place, and everybody, A, there's a whole lot of it to begin with, and then B, it's all just been thrown into the postmodern blender. So who knows? Witches anymore?
I think you were explaining it to me actually, this might have been a discussion pre-pandemic, whatever that show was that I was watching on Netflix. It was when I was reading Terry Pratchett. And there are the three witches in those books that recur. And they were, I think you were explaining something about.
Yeah, the whole Mother Maiden Crone.
Yeah,
he digs into that mythology around it all. Which, I just want to say, Terry Pratchett's Weird Sisters, WYRD Sisters, it's one of his Discworld novels. It is, I am not joking. And it is literally one of the best novels I have ever read. Ever. It is genius and funny and tense, and it is this amazing, hilarious deconstruction of Macbeth, but at the same time, an almost exact retelling of it at the same time. It's amazing. It is Terry Pratchett at his finest. I think that was probably the first Terry Pratchett book I ever gave you, to be honest, because I was just like, you got to read this.
No, I don't know. I think you were like, hold off on this. Read the police
guards.
The guards.
I think that's when I was trying to really get you into it the second time. But moving on back to Shakespeare and Hathaway.
Yes. So we have Sebastian, and then we have Amber Aga as D.I. Marlowe. LOL, Kit Marlowe, and she's a detective. She was underneath. She was like Mark Benton's character, Frank Hathaway, was a higher detective than her. Higher level, and then he left the force to become a PI.
Right,
to become a PI.
Under weird reasons.
And they explained that in some episode, and I can't remember now what they were. But D.I. Marlowe got promoted, and so they're constantly like, come on, D.I. Marlowe. You got to be understanding. Frank's doing his best, and you believe him, and you understand him, and she's constantly trying to be a hard ass, and like by the books, and having to be like, oh, fine, you're right, Frank. Or, we just don't have the proof right now, so we can't.
You got to do more.
Yeah.
Be better, Frank.
Yeah. And so this episode, though, I will say the log line is Mayor Rexler is murdered in the dead of night, and known criminal Billy the Brick is the chief suspect.
Billy the Brick. Good name.
Billy approaches Frank to clear his name. Yeah, so there are 2 episodes with Billy in them, and this is, again, where we are going to be playing the Did Jessica Fall Asleep? And
we get to play that. We get to play that game this episode.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I have a vague memory of this character, but he's only done 2 episodes.
So it might have been the other one. It might have been this one. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't
know.
All
right.
I don't remember it from the description. I mean, that's a very short description, but I don't know. And I feel like there's somebody that they kind of go back to for like their underworld information. His like informant, his underworld.
Right.
As every detective
his guy on
needs,
the streets.
needs a guy on the street. Yeah, I don't know. So he may show up again. This episode is also written by Kit Lampert, who wrote the last episode, and we discussed whether Kit is a real person.
Not actually real.
Yeah, made up by Jude Tyndall or real person. We don't know.
It's not true. We believe in you, Kit.
This episode is directed by, I listened to his name and the pronunciation, and I am going to, this is going to be so bad. Piotr Shapat. Nope. Okay. And the director is Piotr Skopiak.
Well done.
Thank you. He is Polish. He had, this is an interesting story for him. He has no formal training in film and television. His first break came in 1989 working as an intern on MTV Europe.
Oh, my Lord.
Then he joined Sky TV as an intern, so 2 internships. And later at Sky.
It was cheaper back then, boys and girls.
Yes, that's so true.
Yes.
He's living like the rent life in London, probably.
Yeah.
Right. Rent. He probably has memories of like living in warehouses and thinking it was like super cool, and he could do that and didn't have to like live at home.
Right.
Those are the days.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So he was an intern at Sky, and then he went on to create interstitials there and direct those. And then later he co-created and directed a film magazine show that was renamed The Movie Show. Sounds kind of like an Entertainment Tonight kind of thing. And it included special reports from New York, Los Angeles, Cannes, Berlin, and Edinburgh film festivals. And then, in January of 1995, he left Sky to become a freelance director for UK's top-rated shows, including Coronation Street, 10 episodes, Emmerdale Farm, 137 episodes, EastEnders, 24 episodes, The Coroner, Father Brown, just 2 episodes, Doctors, 131 episodes, and 8 episodes of Shakespeare and Hathaway, including the premiere, Oh, Brave New World. So he was the guy that set the tone for this whole show. And he comes back and directs 2 episodes per season. This first season he directed, I think, 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And he credits all these experiences on daytime drama. What was the term that we...
Continuing drama? Yes.
Yeah. So
continuing drama.
Yeah. So all this continuing drama he credits as the training ground for him as a director and the training ground for him in producing his very well-renowned short films and his sort of well-known, not very critically acclaimed, but important film called The Last Witness, which was 15 years in the making for him. It premiered in 2018, and it's about a historical event that was hidden and it was made secret and confidential for your eyes only by the Allies, the British and the American Allies and the Soviet Union. It was about a massacre that happened in Poland. 22,000 Polish military officers, police officers, factory owners, and religious leaders in the Kaidan Forest were massacred or thereabouts in different jails and gulags, wiping out with the specific purpose, and this was done by the Soviet Union. The specific purpose was wiping out any of the leadership opposition in Poland for a Soviet takeover. And everybody covered it up because they needed the Soviet support against the Nazis. And the Nazis for a while had control over that land. And when they left, there's actually journal entries by Nazis saying they're going to discover these burial grounds and they're going to blame it on us. Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
So sorry. You killed so many other people so hard to confuse you with somebody else. Oh. But it was a big cover up. Our government did not acknowledge this until 2012.
Oh, wow.
And so when the Russians, they were kind of gung-ho at a certain point in the early 2000s in putting up a monument and, admitting to this, that they had done this, and they were a party to the collusion, as was the U.S. and Britain. And then they decided they wanted to invade. And so they turned it into, this was just a regional misunderstanding. So we're not going to support this monument anymore. So this is the director of this episode. His grandfather was killed in this purge. And his parents, he was born in London. His parents, having found themselves expatriated to London. To London. They never went back to Poland because it was Soviet or Soviet controlled for so long, and they were like, I don't want to go back there. That was the whole freaking point. They killed, us, or they.
Yeah, we wanted to get out.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I mean, this is again comedy, crime, drama.
Comedy, there's the drama. He's certainly got some chops for some drama there.
Yeah, definitely. So we're excited to see how that's going to play out, and definitely he did the first episode. The guy knows comedy. He knows how to have fun. He worked for MTV, for Pete's sake. Come on.
Right. Come on.
Poster
children for fun. MTV.
Yes, I think so. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think another thing we're definitely going to do in this episode is count Macbeth references.
Oh, absolutely.
And
all the little winks and nods to
how many?
The original show. Yeah. The original show.
The original. So do you think, I think we're going to be sitting next to each other on the couch watching this. I feel like, we're going to be shouting out stuff, right? Or are you just going to quietly make a little hash mark?
I don't think this is me versus you. I think this is us versus the internet.
Okay.
I think that's what this is. This is us versus the internet. Can we get them all? Can we?
Okay.
How do we rank against IMDb trivia or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. And and I bet, honestly, two of us versus the whole of the internet, I'm betting we come up with less, but let's find out.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
So I think the biggest philosophical question facing us right now is, does the name of a bar count as an animal?
Wait, why? What was the name of the bar?
The name of the bar was the Mucky Mallard.
Oh, wasn't it the Murky Mallard? It was the Mucky Mallard.
I wrote down...
You did. It's the Mucky Mallard.
It's the Mucky Mallard. Yes, I did. I wrote down it's the Mucky. Sorry, not Murky. The Mucky.
I said Murky.
Oh, okay. So who knows? In any event, there's some kind of empty mallard. So we have no animal. We do have some animal guts, though.
You're right.
So the show opens with three old ladies in a foggy wood.
Yeah, so great.
It was so nice. And they've got their hands in some bucket full of just dead animal parts.
Yeah, it was like a cauldron, a legit cauldron.
It was a pail. Let's be honest.
Okay, you're right. It was a pail.
It was a pail. But like bloody, mucky animal parts. And they're like, they look at each other and one of them says, well, ladies, we've got a lot of work to do. And then you watch them walk off through the woods. And then you go to a castle. And in the castle, there's a man. He's not old. He's in his 40s. He's like middle-aged man. There's middle-aged man.
Yeah.
There's middle-aged man in a robe and pajama bottoms listening to jazz on a record player.
Was it jazz? It was piano. Was it jazz piano?
Jazzy piano.
Oh, I thought it was kind of classical.
We'll say jazzy
okay.
piano.
Okay.
Jazzy piano. And there's a knock at the door. There's a lot of knocking at the door, which may be my first reference. Like there's just a whole
oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're all right.
And the knocking on the keep
knock,
door.
knock.
I really wanted him to stand up and talk about how much he had to pee.
Yes.
He did not. But again, he was a man of a certain age. So, he's got an enlarged prostate.
Kind of a given.
He probably did have to pee. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway,
he was drinking.
He was drinking. He was drinking.
Very sourly looking at the fire.
Yes.
And it seemed like sort of sour.
Okay, sure.
Or maybe just concentrated. And there was a lamp on as well.
Okay. I'll take that. But so there, he looks at the clock. It's 10:45. Someone's knocking, and then he goes and he picks up a shotgun
that's just sitting by the door, not even on the wall or anything.
Like just like leaned up, like it's the butt of the shotgun is on the ground, the barrel is leaning against the wall. It's just right there. He like picks it up as he's going to the door. They cut to the exterior of the castle, and bang zoom, Bob's your uncle. That was the trailer.
Yeah.
That was the teaser. That's
so
what we got.
Fast. Oh, but I want to say he picks the gun up and then he crouches down like he's what's his name in
Elmer
Looney
Fudd.
Tunes? Elmer Fudd. I'm going to go hunting wabbits. And then he stalks him like he has that sort of bouncy stalk as he walks off through the door.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, that is hilarious.
It was pretty perfect. It was spot on Elmer Fudd. Yes. Way to go. So.
And he does kind of have a little bit of an Elmer Fudd look. I don't think we're ever going to see that guy again, but.
Well, we might see his corpse.
Oh, okay. True.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get some corpse acting.
Get some good corpse acting. Does he have an Elmer Fudd look in the corpse when he does that as well? So there you go. That's what it is. Time for some guessing. Jessica, you want to go first? You want me to go first? How do you want to roll?
You go for it.
You go. Okay, great. Because I'm going super basic. I'm going to go super basic, straight down the middle here.
Okay.
I think that there is some like deputy mayor whose job it was to like make sure that like all the cobblestones in their like pretty little town were just as perfect can be, so they could win the like perfect town award and great. That's a thing, right? Perfect town award in Great Britain. Gotta be, right? So and he got complimented, and people thought he did such a good job of checking on the cobblestones. He got drunk with power at like the ribbon cutting ceremony or something, and now he wants to be mayor. So I am guessing that he did it. I'm going with Deputy Mayor Michael.
So former cobblestone project manager, associate mayor.
It's like some deputy associate mayor, cobblestone manager.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Just because I like saying cobblestones. You got some cobblestones on you. Check out the cobblestones on that guy.
Yeah. I think that's gotta go.
I really hope somebody talks about their cobbles.
Yeah, I mean it's always in all the like Tour de France or La Volta things. So there's a cobblestone day here.
It's a cobble stage. Yes, exactly. He's getting ready. He's getting ready for some bike race, and he's just yeah.
Okay, I am. So I did some. Yeah, I do research, as you know.
The pre-cheating, yes.
The pre-cheating. And I...
Wait a minute, before you go any further, before you get into this pre-cheating, do you remember anything in this episode at all? Like,
no.
Do you think you've seen this episode?
No, I do not think that I have seen this episode.
You didn't? Okay, so
nothing
we know that you
seemed
didn't...
familiar. I don't remember, because we did watch a little after the title sequence, because we were like, maybe we should see a body, or we should find out, like, who this dead person is.
And we found out that it was, in fact, the mayor. Yeah.
And
we don't have a name. We just know it's the mayor.
Yeah, and we're going to blame a guy named Billy the Brick.
Right.
And Frank is like, no, that guy is not violent. He probably is just like a lockpick and a burglar, like petty burglary or whatever. I don't remember anything.
Okay. So we're gonna put this. We're gonna put this at. We're 95% sure that Jessica hasn't seen this episode. So this is a good fresh guess. Okay, here we go.
And there was a theme in there that, you know, this mayor was drinking as he's looking into the fire. He has to put his drink down in order to pick up the shotgun. Also, Frank is sitting at the pub in the morning, and D.I. Marlowe.
Oh, you're
from
right.
the first scene. I mean, the first, not the cold open.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing? Are you taking care of yourself? What is that?" Because it's a green juice, but Frank calls it hell's broth, which I don't know if that's a quote.
Some hangover cure. That's a good point. Yeah.
But it's a hangover cure apparently. So a lot of drinking happening apparently in Stratford-upon-Avon, Arden area, and then as D.I. Marlowe says, "I need help. The mayor of Arden's been killed," and okay, so. I have noticed with this show in particular, I haven't noticed this with other shows, but usually the log line is written by like IMDb, or maybe it's written by the show and submitted to IMDb, but these log lines, for some reason, they're using ones that are like user generated.
Sure.
Or
user submitted. Yeah.
Submitted. I don't know who's out there submitting reviews
to TV
shows. Well, it was really long, and I copied and pasted it, and I started kind of reading it, and I was like, this is so long, and it might actually give away the ending. So I stopped reading and, kind of closed my eyes and deleted everything but the first sentence.
Closed my eyes and deleted everything on the computer, threw it into the trash, went to the Apple store, bought a new computer, brought it in. But it was on Google Docs, so then the Google Doc just repopulated itself, so I had to do it again. So I'm really sorry, Jacob, but we bought 2 laptops this month.
And they're covered in curry. I apologize. So they're unusable. Daddy, my BMW is out of gas.
Yes, I need a new one.
Yeah. So I did not. So I what I know is, and this also came up in the trivia, which again I started reading and then was like, no, don't read it. So I stopped reading it.
I'm shaking my head, gentle listener. You can't see it because this is a podcast, but I'm shaking my head at Jessica and wagging my eyebrows. This is not appropriate.
You don't approve of me. I'm sorry. I know it's about real estate developers.
Okay.
That's all I know. Well, and then there's some sort of environmental activists of some sort, which we were talking about.
Oh, the witches.
Probably the witches.
The witches, like all the because they've got all this blood and guts and stuff. So
it looked like organs.
Yeah, organs.
Like
that's what I'm.
Kidney,
heart, stuff like that. Yeah.
For sure.
So I wonder if they're trying to I wonder if they're working for the developer, like they're trying to scare people out to sell their land cheap, or I wonder if they're trying to terrorize the mayor or the developer to keep them from gentrifying or taking over the wood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's these big city real estate developers.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, my guess is that the mayor is for development,
okay.
But it is a shame to him and
okay.
his, because I think he is maybe even part of landed gentry, even though he's the mayor, which is a civilian role.
Uh-huh.
But that is my guess, is that he is, it's a shame to him that he's giving up this land.
Yeah, it's deeply shameful that he has to give up his land. Yeah.
Or that he's protective of to real estate developers, but he knows that the town needs money, he needs money, he'll get paid more if they have money. So he's going to do it. And I think what happened is, because we don't want to blame all environmental activists, because they have a good point.
Doing the Lord's work.
We do need housing, but we also need to make sure that our environment is,
capable of supporting human life.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that an activist who was an old flame came to him to say, hey, do you think we could just work this out? But he's paranoid. He's Elmer Fudd. And a lot of people have been, environmental activists have been doing things like throwing blood and guts at his house or at him and stuff for doing this kind of thing. So I think this old flame comes to try to make up with him. And she brings a bottle. I'm not sure of their gender. I think they bring a bottle of liquor of some sort, this really thick glass. And this is, we don't see it because we do know from D.I. Marlowe that he's killed with a blunt instrument. He's not killed with a shot from his own shotgun. So I think the blunt instrument is like a really thick glass liquor bottle
Right.
that doesn't break over his head, because that's the thing that happens in TV and movies when there are
Right, yeah,
sugar
they're-
bottles. But it actually hits him in the right soft spot and it kills him. And then they can just walk away with the liquor bottle and just kind of clean it off with some bleach and just put it back into the liquor cabinet.
All right.
And it's, nobody's going to notice it because liquor cabinet.
All right. All right. So liquor cabinet X flame.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But I think you're right, because I definitely think the witches, in quotes, are like harassing him and trying to like get them to stop doing the development,
Yeah.
and maybe even supporting like somebody else who's running for mayor.
Yeah.
They're trying to be like, no, like the mayor is
yeah.
for development, and they're like supporting this other guy who's like anti-development, and they're also.
Do you think
trying
that's
to,
the deputy mayor? I mean, going with
oh,
your guess.
Oh, interesting.
Is
like
the
they're
deputy
supporting
mayor
the deputy mayor.
still for?
No, I'm gonna
environmental-
stick with my. It would make sense. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna leave you with the witches. I'm not gonna change my guess. I'm gonna stick with my guess. But I do still think it's a cobblestone deputy mayor hungry for more power.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, and I'm not even sure. Like, I can't believe later on seasons there is another activism storyline,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm having a hard time thinking that they would do that in the first season too, unless that's a big theme in the UK that they're just always activists. Could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Well, we'll find out, and we'll
guess
come
so.
back. And
Yeah.
so
Okay, here are the things.
here are the things. 95% sure that
Yeah.
Jessica has not seen this episode.
Yes.
We've got our
Yeah.
guesses in, and we'll come back with some results.
See you soon.
Jess, can I start saying ticky-boo, or is that appropriation?
You can say that to me anytime.
Fantastic.
As you're leaving, you're like, I love you, Tiki Boo.
Love you, ticky-boo. Is it a noun? Is that what that is?
No, I
didn't
think
sound
it's
like a
like
noun.
it's like something bad, Tiki Bye or
Ticky-boo, tiki-ba. I don't.
um.
I heard it so much in this episode,
Yes.
and I want to use it. I want it
And
to be
there were
part of my
lots of versions,
vocabulary.
too.
And I was
Yeah.
just like, be back in a minute, ticky-boo, or like, would be just back in a ticky-boo. I don't know. I must learn all there is to know about ticky-boo, and it will enter. I will be like that. I will be that insufferable person from Mean Girls trying to make Fletch happen. I will do that. That is how I'm going to be with ticky-boo.
Yes, you're gonna do it. You're gonna make it happen.
I've got to make something happen because we did not get this right.
No, neither of us. We were in the neighborhood,
Yeah, we were in the neighborhood, but
but didn't
that and
see
a
it.
nickel will get you a nickel.
Yeah, right. So it was the journalist, but it wasn't even
the journalist. You remember the journalist from Shakespeare's original
Right.
Scottish play. Yeah.
Yeah. The journalist who was covering this affordable, quote, affordable housing.
Right, which was luxury housing.
Was luxury housing, yes, in this Forest of Arden, which has, or should have, protected newts.
Right.
Which was
Eye of Newt, which was
Eye of Newt, yeah.
But there were two animals in this. There were no cats, there were no owls.
No.
But there was a drawing of a newt, and there was a dog named Spot.
Yeah.
So that when it ran into the woods, the owner got to yell, "Out, damn Spot." So
she didn't say damn.
She
but
did,
she
you're
said,
correct.
Out, Spot.
She did.
Out.
She did. So that was those right there. Right there, that's two illusions that we got correct.
Yeah, that was great. And I mean, the very first scene of
Right,
the episode was in a foggy wood with the three hags meeting. Hags, which stands for Hillsbury Action Group,
right?
Or Hillsdale Action Group, whatever
like
the neighborhood is.
They were trying to stop the housing development from being built because the hags liked the newts.
Yeah, well,
So-
they should be protected.
Right.
The grand newts.
The grand newts need to be protected. So, but let's roll things back for a second here. So what happened was that, yes, the mayor was killed. The hags were trying, we were right on that. The hags were environmental activists trying to stop them from building on this to protect the newt. The deputy mayor definitely had a taste of power and wanted more, was hoping to eventually be an MP someday, but he didn't actually kill the mayor.
He had no murderous intents at
all.
all. And we found out that the mayor, whose name is Duncan Rexley.
Rex. Yeah. Great. So we got that one right
Duncan,
too. Yeah.
Also, he was going to step aside until he found out that Moses was having this weird sort of affair with a journalist.
Not sort of affair. He was having an affair with the journalist Freya.
And so Duncan was like, I need to have this
Someone
place
needs to be
morally upright. To be in
when
charge. When
has a politician ever said,
Arden?
I'm going to stay in office until I find someone who's not having an affair to succeed me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, politician.
Hilarious.
So yes. So Moses, who is the deputy mayor, tried to break it off with Freya. Freya got upset, went to go see Duncan, and ended up killing him with the clock.
Clocked him.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Yes, she literally clocked him. Well done. Oh, my Lord. It was staring me right in the face.
I mean, it literally
Or in the back of the skull. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because they do a shot of the clock as in
right.
The,
and
in
we
the
were like,
first
oh,
scene.
it's 10:45. We got to make note of the time. That's what. No, that was the
No.
murder weapon, not a. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
And we still don't know. Like, he got a shot off, but was it her?
No, he didn't
coming
actually
in the
get
door?
it. She did that purposefully
Oh.
to throw suspicion off of her.
Yeah.
So she came in.
And
they
that
argued,
was just tricky directing, where they made us think that shot happened right in that moment, but it
Correct.
actually happened later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of tricky directing, they needed to pull out a lot of tricks in this episode because it was raining. It looked like the entire time they were filming.
Oh, wow.
So much. Like, they did scenes in a car that I don't think they would normally do in a car. Everybody was like hunched underneath the eaves of buildings all the time.
Yes.
There was this outdoor scene where they were... First of all, this was meant to be a press conference, and there was maybe 3 extras there at all.
Yeah.
There was nobody there. There were more reporters than there were normal people. Anyways, they unveil that there's going to have this new housing development, and that's when they see that the hags have taken the blood and written blood on your hands, and they're protesting everything. But I noticed that all the ladies were walking around wearing really cute rain boots, like really cute. Like, they'd had these amazing costumes, and then boots. Like, the boots were trying to be cute, but like, Katniss, this real estate developer, very Tony real estate, like, took the stage wearing just like boots.
Yeah, she had this beautiful silk top that, like, you know, it had a plunging neckline with the not ruffles, but it was folded silk fabric, and then a jacket was along the same lines, navy jacket and a long black pencil skirt, which should go with probably like knee-high black boots maybe or something like that. But no, she was wearing like rubber Wellingtons with some sort of cute character on them, which, you know, is fine because...
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's a style too. But and then Luella was wearing those as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that this was a style that was passing through Britain. I remember in 2004 when I was in New York, the work studies that were working for me, one of them was going to spend her semester abroad in Ireland in the next semester. And so she got accepted this was like October, maybe November, and she was already planning her wardrobe and was like, I really like these boots. They're Wellingtons. She was like, and it's really rainy in Ireland. I think I should get them. But what if it turns out they're not in style when I'm there? And then I'll be wearing 3 months from now. And I was like, that is really hard because, you know, styles are very different over there than they are here. Like, we just have a different exchange of fashion. So, yeah.
Those acting students really tackling the important things about going overseas. What if I bring the wrong rain boots?
Yeah, they're just not in style. Then I'll look weird.
Right. So back to this show, though, what I will say is that Victoria Katniss was the developer, the evil developer. Katniss, this was the one we missed. This was the reference we missed because apparently Katniss is one of the earls of Scotland who
Lord,
turn
yeah.
against Macbeth, the lords of Scotland who turns against Macbeth. So we missed that one.
Yeah, we missed that. But we got the knock, 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 right?
We got the knock, knock, knock,
that was
right?
in the first scene. We got the blood on your hands, save your newts, hags, milk of human kindness. We
Right,
were
there's
like,
a milk of human
that's
kindness
gotta
line.
be
Yeah.
a line from Shakespeare. It is, or from Macbeth. Spot, out I say. Oh, there's a line about somebody wanting their pound of flesh, which is Merchant of
Yes.
Venice. Different play.
Different play, but we still got it. There's also they go to a bar named Illyria at one point where yes, there is a transsexual bartender.
Yeah. Oh, but our two favorite lines were in
yes.
the costumiers.
Like Sebastian the
office.
costumier say tickety-boo to each other. So
Yes.
tickety-boo is it's gonna happen, people.
So Sebastian gets Billy dressed up in order to
Billy
take
is the main
him,
suspect in all of this.
in order to take him to Illyria, and he needs him to,
Because they've gotten drunk in the middle of the afternoon because they were bored, and so they want more drinks. So they take him to a bar where the cops will never look.
Yeah. And so she puts him in the back with an outfit, and he comes out, and she says, "Is this Mick Jagger I see before me?"
Which
is
just
hilarious.
slow clap.
Is this a dagger I see
Well
before me?
done.
So good. Yeah. And then later on, or shortly after that, Sebastian says, "Well, look out, Illyria. Something wicked this way comes."
Yes. Those were right after each other too. So
Yeah.
it's like, well done.
Yeah.
He is also so tall.
Oh my goodness, he is tall.
He towers over everybody no matter who the other person is.
Yeah. And the directors make no
bones about it.
No bones about it.
Nobody else is standing on
Everybody-
an apple
yeah,
box. Everyone
he's-
is just towering over
He's
everybody.
leaning over a little bit on people all the time, which is adorable. Yeah. It's a really fun episode. But it was rainy, and that was bad for Luella's hair in some scenes.
It was a little frizzy in parts, yes.
Yeah. Well, she had those great curls, and they just all kind of fell a little straight and flat.
Got it.
And in that rainy scene, that you could literally hear the rain.
In several scenes you could hear the rain happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's a machine. Like I think that they were literally just trying to shoot through the rain.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's also like the blocking had to change because there were times where they were just jammed into these tiny little spaces, which I don't think they were meant to be jammed into. Or there was like lots of scenes in cars. And like, why are we staring at these people through the mirrors? Like, why are we looking at the side mirror of the car reflecting?
Too.
And I literally think that they just had to find new ways of filming them because they had to put them in the car so much because it was raining. So they got to keep them in the car. So how can I make this interesting? Great. I'll film this mirror over here.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And we never got any kind of redemption on the I'm hunting wabbits. That wasn't.
He did get to speak though.
Yes,
he didn't.
you're right.
There was no corpse acting. We never saw him as a corpse, but he did get a couple lines.
Oh, another funny thing.
Oh, please.
I wasn't going to mention this, but there is one actor, when I was doing my research, there is one actor in the show who has so many credits. And this is his about. It says, Richard Price was born, blah, blah. He is most known for being a creature actor on BBC's Doctor Who, having played many incarnations of the Cyberman, a Judoon, a Sea Devil, a Kerblam postman, and many more. He has also worked on many, many other blockbuster films and popular TV series, including the upcoming Wonka movie, Barbie, Star Wars, Andor, as an Imperial officer, all three Fantastic Beasts films, Bohemian Rhapsody, Wonder Woman, 1984, Cinderella with Camila Cabello, and Father Brown, 49 episodes. So I was like, oh, wow, who is this guy? What's going on? What? And I went to look at his credits. Everything is like uncredited. He's like barman for the right, British soldier,
barman from the right,
Mattel warehouse worker, village local, press reporter, Olympic hammer thrower scorer, dinner guest, lawyer, passerby, parishioner, carnival person.
This is someone who really updates his IMDb page.
This guy has done so much extra work. And I mean, like...
He doesn't speak in this either. He's still just an extra.
And in this, he is also an extra. He's uncredited. He plays the transgender barmaid at Illyria, and he's adorable. So he clearly knows how to act. Good on you, Richard Price.
I also want to take a moment and just give a shout out to the most low-tech murder board we have seen in seemingly years. Like, there's no bullet time here. There's no, like, 3D animation of what's happening. Like, there's not even a whiteboard. Like, their murder board is old school. It is white chalk on a gray chalkboard.
Yes.
That is it. It's not even, it's even smaller than like a poster board. It's this tiny little thing, and they like draw names and circles around names and lines. There's no yarn, there's no pictures, there's no multicolors. It's just the two of them on either side of a board being all like, well, this is one suspect and this is another suspect. It's charming.
Yeah,
it's straight from Dickens. It's like, it looks like it's from Dickensian times. Like young Ebenezer Scrooge was like writing his like verb conjugation and doing his math on this little chalkboard, and they have just taken it and using it as their murder board now. I love it. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10 Agatha Christie's, how Baroque would you say that this episode was?
I mean, I don't think it would deserve a 2, but it wasn't. I can't even say a 4. Maybe a 3?
A 3? Okay.
What do you think?
See, I don't think this was as Baroque as last week's, but I was still, the thing I liked about this episode, and the reason I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 5 simply because I do think it was a solid murder mystery. I mean, you know me, right out of the gate, I was just like, boom, here it is. It was the deputy mayor. He wants it, because you're kind of hidebound by the plot. Like, if you know what I mean, if you're doing Macbeth, if you're doing Macbeth, then you've only got so much. And so we really, for a while, it does look like it's going to be the deputy mayor, but then it does flip a little bit there at the end where it's his spurned lover, it's his spurned ex-girlfriend. So I'll give them a little bit of credit for that, for totally, because they make that real estate agent, they make her look out to be as if she's going to be the Lady Macbeth mover shaker, pushing things along.
Yeah.
So like the little jump back or jump over to the Freya reporter, I like that. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10 Agathas.
Okay.
Or 5 out of 10 Christies. We're still workshopping this, people.
Yeah. So they did make Victoria Caithness, the property developer, out to seem like, oh, she could be a suspect.
She's the Lady Macbeth person.
Yeah. Well, I really thought she might be too, honestly, because she, as an actress, has portrayed in the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice, she played Kitty Bennet, who is the very youngest sister, who's like super annoying.
Right, she's the one who gets married first, and it's just like, I am the married woman, so you have to enter after me because I am more important.
Yeah, so Lizzie Bennet is like, ugh, gross. Anyway, she is also in Foyle's War, and she was in Gentleman Jack. She's also done EastEnders, Doctors, Holby City, Midsummer Murders.
Yay.
She did one of those, which is fun to come across. And the guy who plays Billy the Brick.
Oh, he is hilarious.
Yes.
He shows up dressed as a pirate. The first time. He was worried that he was going to get nabbed for this robbery and murder, so he goes to the costumer joint and steals a pirate outfit. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that was really hilarious. Oh, which led to the scene when Luella is talking with one of the hags, and she says, well, now that the mayor is gone, and the hag says, wait, what do you mean he's gone? Where'd he go? And she's like, oh, I thought that's what our whole conversation was about. I thought that you knew. He's dead. He was murdered. And last night, the hag turns pale and is like, oh my goodness, oh no, and she goes running off, and Luella's like, that is the weirdest response.
Right.
It's kind of suspicious, but not because she didn't even know.
Yeah.
And that is because she is the mother of Billy the Kid, and she had sent Billy the Brick. She had sent Billy to go steal the environmental report off of the desk. Anyway, that actress is named Marjorie Yates, and she has been acting for a great amount of time. She's been on Doctors, also on Vera and Shameless. The British version, which played for, I think it's had 10 or 11 seasons, actually, and tons of awards. But back to Kieran Griffiths, who plays Billy the Brick. He has done EastEnders. He's done 163 episodes of The Bill, Coronation Street, 44 episodes, and Shameless, he's been on for 84 episodes.
What can you tell us about Moses?
So Moses is played by Simon Menionda, who is on Pennyworth, His Dark Materials, and on Doctor Who, an episode called Pace the Raven in 2015, which I think probably then led to him being on Neil Gaiman's Likely Stories,
That
which
makes sense.
he did 3 episodes of that. And then, of course, he was on Holby City.
Oh, of course. Who isn't on Holby City?
Yeah.
You've been on Holby City.
Right? Haven't I?
Come on. All right, so that's a loss in the books, but a win because this was a great episode.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
So there we go. Something wicked this way's done. Yeah. So
Good job.
Thank you very much. I'll take that pun instead of
All's
the win.
well that ends well.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna get any better than that.
Forsooth.
Oh, good. Tickety-boo. See you next time.
See you next time.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
And now we want to hear from you.
Tell us your guesses, your scores, and your suggestions for what shows we should watch next.
Go to our website, cluedunnitpodcast.com, or email us at cluedunnitpodcast@gmail.com.
Or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Cluedunnit Podcast, or on Twitter at Cluedunnit.
And if you like the podcast, please rate us and review us on Spotify or Apple Podcast to help us get the word out. And maybe you'll hear your review read on the show.
Want to be a Cluedunnit private investigator? Leave us a few bucks at cluedunnitpodcast.com and we'll send you a personalized, official Cluedunnit private investigator license.
Officially approved by the totally fake Podcasting Adjudication Board in their secret headquarters in a mountain outside of Squamish.
We hope to hear from you soon, because
watching TV is always better with friends.
Which I didn't realize, but you're also not supposed to quote Macbeth in other productions.
gracious.
Is supposedly what somebody, I don't know that I've ever heard this.
Now we're just following random things we hear from strangers on the internet.
Yeah, and so they were saying
I won't believe it until ChatGPT says it.
Yeah, so somebody was saying that that's the case, and so all the actors were just shoving it in. This is clearly somebody who doesn't know that scripts exist. Yeah.